Hi, this is Roger, thanks for dropping by. I'm going to have a go at this one today. It's well grown out of its pot. It's got a pot full of roots, but most of them are old and tired, so they're probably not working that well. It's got new growths coming out, and it's hanging over the side of the pot with a new growth. It's got a spike coming here. It's got another one coming there, and I want to try and get both of those bulbs on the same split, because that's going to go to my friend. That's right, I just noticed a few bugs. Mind you, she's the world's leading expert at getting rid of bugs. There's a lot of practice. Anyway, I will probably get 3 splits out of this, obviously at least 2 straight down the middle, but I'm hoping that I can get this piece off as a single split, which will have at least 2 new growths on it and 2 spikes. That'd be a good piece to give to my friend. And then what's left I'm hoping will split in 2 with at least a new growth on each piece. That way, you know, I know that there'll be some new roots. As I said, a lot of these roots are old and tired. So that's the idea. It's got a flower spike on it that's going over. Now this is a bit worrying because that is actually a mealybug. Of course I know exactly where that's come from, because it's sat on the same shelf, separated but on the same shelf as the what's it called? Oh, a dendrobium I was given. I've forgotten what it's called now. But that came with mealybugs. I've been working on them and they just don't seem to want to disappear at the moment. So anyway, let's crack on with this. First job is to try and get it out of the pot. I don't think that's going to be very easy. It's going to fight every step of the way, I suspect. Oh. It's absolutely crammed. Absolutely crammed. It's actually Anachelium pachycephalum, but it's actually not. It's been reclassified as a Prosthechea, and I think it's Pachycephala now. But they're always messing about in this in these genera. I think I'm going to sacrifice the pot. I don't know whether these scissors will actually cut the pot. Oh yeah. Simply because it's not a, you can hear it's tearing apart, it's cracking, it's brittle. It's not the best of pots. And it's a size that I have plenty of. So, you know, I shan't miss it basically. It's just shattering. It's so old. But still not letting go of the plant. There we go, that's most of it now. I want to go careful because although it's only rubbish plastic, it can have sharp edges on it and I don't want to get a cut. This is going to be the difficult bit. Jolly good. Right, now there's not going to be any point in trying to tease those roots out, so I think I'm going to be drastic. I'll be back. Right, this isn't a job for scissors, it's a job for a sharp knife. Talking of sharp knives, I was watching Jim Durrant at the Mathers Foundation on some of his videos this morning. Repotting cymbidiums. He makes incredibly good use of a sharp knife. Ruthless. I'm not going to be that bad, but I am just going to slice the plant. I'm just trying to work out. That's the growth with a spike coming and a new growth. And I've got to get that large bulb and that new growth. So I think I just need to go straight down through there. Let's see if we can do that then. And if we lose some bulbs, so be it. See, all these roots are all old, tired and dead, basically, a lot of them, so I'm not worried about losing some of these. Plant will start again in some new media, so. Right, now we've got to turn this into a nice plant. That's no good keeping. I'm just looking at what supports back bulbs can give support by storing nutrients, but older younger bulbs are not going to grow new roots. So you can sort of say, well, to give the plant a good start in life, we'll leave some of those on, yeah, so that it's quite a large plant, and that will give it a much better chance. It'll have a lot more support to put some energy into new growths and the spikes. So I'm just taking these sheaths off. I'm going to do my best to make sure there aren't bugs on here. That's something I need to do now. Something wrong with that leaf, so we won't leave it on. Just checking. I mean, if I can see bugs, I'll take them off, but single mealybug there. I tend to go for spikes and new growths if they can. So this is our main point of new root growth. These roots aren't up to much apart from perhaps holding the plant in a pot. But there's no new growing tips on these roots, so they don't really serve much purpose. We've got a new growth there and this one. This bulb is the one that's produced most of the roots. These two, in fact, have produced most of the roots. And a lot of these roots will start growing. It's a branching root system. And then we've got another new growth round here which should also, do you know, I've got a feeling that plant might not be joined. But I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it as though it's joined, and we'll assume it's one plant. So just tidy the sheaths up, hiding places. Always get rid of those while I've got it out of the pot and can see what I'm doing. It's strange actually, Prosthecheas, I believe, are distant, but in the Cattleya alliance, distant. But I mean, if you look at those bulbs, they look a lot more like Oncidium types to me than Cattleya types. But apparently these Prosthecheas are in the Cattleya alliance. I'm not fussed either way, quite honestly. Yeah. Right, the media that this is in was reasonable bark, looking at it. So if a little bit stays attached to those old roots, it's not the end of the world. Just going to take the back part off, where all the dead bits are. There we go. And then next time it's repotted, whoever does that, in this case it will be Helen, they'll be working with the new root system, and this bit will all be long gone and died off. So that's one piece. I'll stick that in there for now. Now what can we do with the rest? Let's see what we can find. We've got a new growth here pushing on, and sure there's another new growth somewhere. Oh, there. Oh, and there. So there's several new growths there and one there. I'm going to split that down through there so that we've got another good sized plant, and then the other smaller one. As I say, I doubt if I should keep any of these. I'll keep them for a bit to get them going and get the roots established, but I doubt if I'll keep this. It's just, it doesn't appeal to me. Come on, you're supposed to be a sharp knife, that's what we want. Sort that one out in a minute. Let's do the small one. Yeah, so it's probably only the one new growth on here. To pot this nicely, I'm going to end up burying that pseudo bulb, so I think I might. Trouble is, if I take that off, it's the main bulb holding all the pieces together. So perhaps we'd better leave it. But this hasn't got much in the way of new roots. Don't grab hold of the knife blade, Roger. So we'll take the worst of the old stuff off again. So there's some roots to sort of hold it in the pot for a bit while it gets some new ones going. It's a good rooter, it grows good roots, so it should recover pretty quick, although this looks a bit drastic. It should recover reasonably well. Teasing out as much of the old media as I can. There are some cocoa chunks in amongst this mix, so I'd like to see those gone. Because when that stuff goes off, it turns quite acidic. But it would only be a small part of a large volume of. Oh, look at that. Under the sheath, all of them. I'll be back. Yeah, I didn't really want to hand it over with bugs on it, but that's just under one sheath. And if you look at the next sheath along, nothing. So there's a colony there that have managed to get going, undetected by me, and I can't see any others anywhere on this plant. Just there, just that one lot. Now you have to bear in mind, I'm pretty sure those are actually mealybugs rather than scale, but I'm going to use my alcohol spray and then physically remove them. Those I can see. I mean, with any luck, that's destroyed that colony. Some down in there. Yeah, I suppose the easiest thing is just take that bulb off. And then hopefully that's got rid of them completely. You can't see any more anywhere. Leaf joints. No, I think we're okay. There may still be some there, but I'll keep my eye on it. So that'll do for that one. That's a smaller plant to get going, but as I said, it roots easily, this plant, and there is quite a strong new growth pushing up here that hasn't started to root yet. It will do soon. So that's the second one then. And then we've got this one that has still got a flower spike on it, which I don't want. So we'll take that off. I'll show you why I don't really want to keep this. Because of the style of this flower spike, first problem. Yeah? Small blooms really spaced out, and the spikes often don't complete. These aren't lost blooms, they're blooms that never developed. But it is, if you can get a close-up, let's see if I can get the camera to focus. Oh, I can't hold it still enough, I don't think. There. You might catch glimpses of it in focus. The bloom is actually quite attractive, but it doesn't do much for me, and there's not much of it. I've just noticed that there's another spike. So this piece of plant has got a spike as well here. So there'll be a spike to push on this one as well. And after the last little plant that we played with, we will be getting all the sheaths off, just in case. As I said, it is one of the, well, quite honestly, under the sheaths at the base of the pseudo bulbs is a favourite hiding place for scale. Mealy bugs tend to go for flower spikes more than anything else, but obviously not all plants have got flower spikes for them to get at, and they're sort of second place. Now this little bulb can come off, there's no point in keeping that. We'll keep these, there's another new growth starting just there as well. So this is quite a reasonable piece. But anyway, let's continue descaling it, desheathing it rather. It did actually have scale once. It's actually had scale quite bad. I think I managed to deal with that in the main. I don't see any anyway, so I assume we've done the job on the scale. They're obviously harder to get rid of than mealybugs, that's for sure. Right, that's the sheaths. Now we need to look at, I was just going to say, now we need to look at manky leaves. I know there was one. We'll take that off. And we'll take the end of that one off as well. That doesn't look too clever. Yeah, so that's a reasonable plant to pass on to somebody. I'm not sure if that actually feels as though it's separate, but I'm going to leave it as a single piece. Pot it as a single piece, even if it's not. A lot of these older roots wrapped around the top of the pot, but they're not up to much, that's for sure. But you never know, I suppose they could shoot out, they could branch. I don't think they will, but still need something to anchor the plant in the pot. These are quite tall pseudo bulbs with strappy leaves on the top. It's a nice upright grower, and I mean there are people at the Orchid Society that are nuts on species, and they're not so fussed what they are, they're just fussed that it's a species. They don't do hybrids, they don't think they're proper orchids. I don't work like that. I don't mind if I've got a species, I don't mind if I've got a hybrid. What I'm interested in, believe it or not, is you people. Have I got an orchid that's going to be of interest to you people? You know, big and blousy, yes. Bright colours, yes. All that sort of stuff. I need things that are attractive to look at. Which is more like what a YouTube channel is about. Some people come for information, some people come to see some shows, because they can't get to any, you know. Some people come for the work, like the repotting and stuff like that. Care guides, there's all sorts of reasons for being on an orchid type channel. And some people are just here for anything that comes along. They're easily pleased, and I'm very pleased that they're around. Right, so we got 3 plants, which is what I was expecting. just find some room over here to get them out of the way. We've got the sheaths off, we've sorted out the old dead roots, and we have a shed load of mess to clear up. So I now need to find 3 suitable sized pots, not necessarily all the same size either, and sort out some media. So I'll be back and we'll get these 3 potted up. Right, let's set these up then. Sort of start with the smallest. I've already put some medium bark in the base of these pots. The mix I'm using is some leftovers, as I always do, and if there's any of this left over it will go in a bag and then get tipped out and mixed in with other stuff if it's suitable. And what it came out of the bag this time was small bark, there's a few growth stones in there, and perlite, and I've mixed it with medium bark, so it's actually quite a well draining mix. With plenty of air in the bottom of the pot. Now where's new growths? We've got one there, and there was one somewhere else, wasn't there? Was there on this one? Perhaps not. This is the smaller one. So as long as the new growth, which is in the middle of the plant effectively, so it can just stay in the middle of the plant. It'll be fine. This is quite a good rooter, this one. It's always produced good roots, and plenty of them. Well, as you saw, it was hanging out the pot. Right, there we go, so that's one done. No gaps. Jolly good, so that's one. Do this one next. This is probably the larger, but I still want that one for Helen because it's got more new growths and double spikes, whereas this has only got 1 spike, and still got 2 new growths though, so it should push on, be a reasonable sized plant. Bigger pot obviously this time. Enough media in there to get it to the right height. The new growths are here and here, yeah, so they've got plenty of room. Keep the plant well over, and they'll have plenty of room to grow on. Right, there we go, that's another one done. And then lastly is this one. I don't have enough media. Now this one's going in a wide pot because it's a much wider plant. Yeah, it just literally takes up more space. The pseudobulbs are a bit more spread out. And as I say, it's got 2 spikes pushing on. Those are tucked down in there, yeah, so they're juvenile spikes, they've only just started, and we've got 2 good strong new growths coming, so this will bulk up into a nice plant quite quickly. This one's also got more newish roots than the other 2 parts, so this one's liable to get going a bit quicker as well. So as I said, this will be for my friend at the Orchid Society. stuff around here where the new growths and base of the new growths and where the previous set of roots have come out from. There we go, that's okay. Burn that down the sides. Right, that's that one done. And like I said, each time I pot, I'm annoyed if I run out before I've actually finished repotting. That annoys me if I run out of media. So there's a tendency to have too much, like I have now. Yeah? Now, there's nothing wrong with this. So that will go in a bag. We'll try and leave most of the dust behind. And then that will get tipped out next time to start what I need to mix up for the next plant that we do. Okay, so where there was one, there's now 3. Grr. And one of them I can get rid of at our next Orchid Society meeting in a couple of weeks' time. Now we've got a speaker there, and that speaker is selling plants, so we're not allowed to bring plants to sell at the same meeting. But as I'm not selling it, I'm giving it away. We can do a deal in the car park out of sight. So yeah, so I can get rid of this one, and then I'll have the other 2 which I'll find space for in here somewhere, and we'll take them into the meeting after that, and see if anybody wants to buy them for a £5 or something. Now there may be some viewers who think I wouldn't mind having that, but I'm not happy about having to pack a newly repotted orchid, because the chances are it will slip out of the pot in the packing, and I hate packaging up orchids to post and go into the post office and do that. I just don't like it. So they'll go to the Orchid Society and go to somebody there. As I said, there's a few members who only do species. They won't touch hybrids, and I think within that they're not that fussed what the species are. They like a variety of all different things. They're the ones that often come in with a plant you've never heard of and can't even pronounce. Not for me, but anyway, that's that job done. That was on the red list because of the fact it was out of the pot. The roots were old and tired. Media was very old as well. That hadn't been potted up for some considerable time. So that was on the red list. There aren't many left on the red list. There's one dendrobium. It's the only Phalaenopsis type dendrobium I've got. It's been in the pot far too long. I don't like it, so when I've repotted it, I may well take that into the Orchid Society as well and get rid of it, pass it on to somebody else. It's not really that warm. It's not warm enough in here for it. It doesn't do well, and it never will. So it might be better with somebody else who grows a bit warmer than I do. But that's the only other red list, and all the others are orange, which means do them when I can get round to it. In some cases it might need to wait until flowering's finished, like the cymbidiums. And then there are a couple that are green, and these are potted plants that are going on a mount. So there's only a couple of those as well. So anyway, that's that job done. Another one ticked off the list. See you next time. Thanks for dropping by.